it is absolutely my privilege and my pleasure to say happy first week of Halloween month, everybody. Started to call it Valentine month. I am full of all kinds of love this morning. Absolutely happy first week of Halloween month. I know several people for whom Halloween is their favorite holiday. So I am Reverend Vicky Jeter, your minister for Louisville Center for Spiritual Living, and we welcome you here on this Sunday, October the 5th of 2025. We welcome all paths to God. We welcome your challenges and your questions. Because all pieces and paths of spirit, all areas of life, and all parts of ourselves are essential to a world that works for all beings. So whether you're here with us for the first time or if you're watching us on YouTube, thank you for being with us because you are why we are here. And with that, I just invite us to take a pausing breath and check in and see what brought you to be with us today. Coming into a new month, a new theme. Our new theme is Glow Up. And the topic for today is the ultimate glow up. And so I know that's going to spark a little imagination. We're going to get clearer about that just shortly. But I want you to expand your idea of everything that we've been talking about so far. Like last month was all about hot air balloons and rising in our consciousness and transcending and transforming. And today is going to launch us into taking that even deeper and broader. And our shared intention today is to allow testimonies of transformative power of faith through demonstrations in prayer. And that's going to be the bulk of what we talk about today. There's several stories that will be coming. And so as we go into prayer, I invite you to consider for yourself answers to prayer that you've had at moments in your life where you have known that the grace of God was moving. Breathing into that space. Each of us individually have different stories, and yet collectively, we all know it is a community feeling. And from that feeling, I recognize the one life, the one love, the one infinite presence of all that is, from which we all emerge, the source of all existence by any name. And as there is one that is all, necessarily each one of us is one with it. And we are one with each other in mind, heart, and soul. And from this alignment, I realize so fully, it's interesting. That's interesting. Even to say this brings up all this energy in my system. I say again, I realize fully that the gifts of this day, the gifts of this service have already been given, and it is for us to simply open broadly and widely to receive more deeply spiritually, more deeply in heart and soul than perhaps ever before. Thank you, thank you, thank you, God. I release it, I let it be, and so it is. And now it is my pleasure to let you all know that with the new month, we have some new music moving. And today especially is Peter Mayer Day. And for those of you who may not know by name who Peter Mayer is, he is the artist that does Holy Now, which is one of our center's very favorite songs. And so all of the music today is also Peter Mayer all the way through. And so opening song this morning is All the World is One.
You can say that you stand apart, put a fence around your yard. You can build a tall rampart, guard it with a gun. You can dig yourself a moat, burn the bridge and burn the boat. It won't matter that much, you know, 'cause all the world is one. All the world is one. You can march in a big parade every Independence Day. You can raise up your own flag, sing your own anthem. It'll ring out in the air with the other anthems there. To the winds of the earth declare, all the world is one. All the world is one. Go and ask the Buddha when he's sitting under the tree. Go ask Walt Whitman when he's looking out at the sea. Ask Alan Shepard when he's standing up on the moon, staring at that pearl of blue. Ask an atom and the breath you take. Ask the water by the river bank. Ask a strand of DNA, it's written in your blood. One life running in your veins, one life from one big bang. You can try and separate it, but all the world is one. All the world is one. Ask the Buddha when he's sitting under the tree. Ask Annie Dillard when she's up on Tinker Creek. Ask Alan Shepard when he's standing up on the moon, staring at that pearl of blue. Take an outbound train, try to make a getaway. You can ride off like John Wayne to the setting sun. But earthlings don't leave town, they just go round and round until they figure out all the world is one. All the world is one. All the world is one.
God bless Peter Mayer. I love his music. I love that song. And it sails us right in to our mission and vision. The mission of Louisville Center for Spiritual Living is to teach personal transformation as a virtual community, living the principles of science of mind and celebrating all paths to God, which manifest our vision of a world that honors and respects all people. Of course, we know that none of this is worth its salt if it doesn't change your experience of life. And so each week we have applications of what we believe. And we start with an application from the Declaration of Principles of Financial Freedom. And this week, it's individuality. And I do encourage you all to say these as you see them and keep them and say them as often as you possibly can. Individuality. I believe that I am an individual center of expression for the life that is God. Therefore, I am a center of expression for its infinitely abundant nature. And as you all probably know by now, these are held by Reverend Marcia Sutton and Reverend Lloyd Strong. The application for this week that comes particularly designed for this talk today, the spark of divinity is what beckons each of us to higher, fuller experience and expression of life. And that is by Ileana Van Zandt, through Tapping the Power Within, A Path of Self-Empowerment for Women, page 2. And with that, it is absolutely my honor and privilege to turn this over to your practitioner of the week, Miss Tammy Ellis.
Good morning, everybody. It's my honor to be your practitioner of the week. And I just love that theme, glow up. When I first heard it, I had to kind of think about what does that mean? So this reading today kind of helped me kind of get more meaning out of that, glow up. This reading is out of the Guide for Spiritual Living with our Centers for Spiritual Living monthly booklet. And this reading is written by Eugene Holden, who is a prayer practitioner with our Centers for Spiritual Living. And he calls the reading, Glow Up. I am the light. I declare today that I am the light of the infinite. As a light of the infinite, I bring the power of love everywhere I go. What's great about this is you don't have to try. This is who I naturally am. And I am the light of the infinite. Everywhere I go, I lovingly shine my light of peace, joy, and power. I am the light of God. Lighten up. With all that's going on, I remember that I have a responsibility as a spiritual entity having a physical experience to shine my light where there is seeming darkness. Let's decide to lighten up today. My heart is lightened because I am one with God. I am the light of the infinite. I light up every room I step into. Inside out. Being spiritual entities, having physical experiences, we live from the inside out. Now is the time to tap into the inner splendor of our being and glow like never before. Tap in and turn on our brilliance. I am the living, breathing expression of God. I live my life from the inner strength that lives, moves, and has its being as me. I live from the inside out. Glow. The body temple is here for a blink of an eye. However, we are eternal beings. And while we're here, let's glow, let's shine, let's love like our lives depend on it. I am the eternal spark of the divine. I glow with infinite possibilities. I am supported in all I do. I am the light and love of God. So let's take a nice deep breath, all those beautiful words about glowing up, and letting the breath out as we move. And so it is. And so as we move now to the meditation, this is something new we're going to kind of do today. As we're having Peter Mayer Day, we're going to have his beautiful song called Breathe In and Breathe Out. So I encourage you to sing it within yourself, or if you want to sing it out loud. I also encourage you to, as he's talking about breathing in and out, just to let your breath fully go down into your belly and have a nice three-directional breath in your torso and then within your spirit as you hear this beautiful song. And so it is.
Breathe in, breathe out. Hands joined as if to pray. Breathe in, breathe out. Arms reaching to the sky, then circling around down to the earth. Eyes lifted to the light, to the light. Hands, branches catching rain. Breathe in, breathe out. Then rising like a stalk of grain. Breathe in, breathe out. Arms reaching to the sky, then circling around down to the earth. Eyes lifted to the light, to the light. Hands open to the day. Breathe in, breathe out. Hands joined as if to pray. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out.
And so, just because this is the launch of a whole new month, a whole new theme, we might recall that the theme for the year is diving broader and deeper and rising up. And so now, following from last month, we're glowing up even farther than we did before, talking about transcendence. You can go ahead and change the slide, Brian. Oh, that's okay. Don't worry about it. This is part of our practice, guys. So the first thing I wanted to do with this new theme is recognize the power of symbolism. It has so much to do with how we cultivate the atmospheres around us that inspire us to find that light inside ourselves. And all of us have it. All of us have the initial spark that is from the divine that we come from. And we have our own unique use of it. And then we have our collective oneness with it. And when we are in touch with our own internal glow, and we recognize that there's a dance between how we feel inside and what we express outwardly, feeds then the world around us, and then reflects back to us that same quality, and there's kind of a momentum and an exponential multiplying of how all of that works. And that's one of the reasons why it's so powerful when we come together and have community like this, where we can share in that one mind, we can share in the feelings. It's safe enough to do the creative expression and the emotional expression and all of that, because it is exponential. And then when we have that field that's being generated around us, then spirit has that much more room to drop in the miraculous, things that of ourselves we would say, it's difficult for me to believe that that could ever happen. And so some of you may have seen this video. This video came from 2024, and instead of special music, this is an inspirational video that lays the foundation for the symbology of glowing up. This is the lighting of the Olympic cauldron from the 2024 Olympics, and this took place in France. Just imagine for a moment what a phenomenal demonstration that had to be for France. I hope you all heard him say that that was done in the Tuileries Gardens, where the first hot air balloon took off in the 1740s. This faith that we live and are seeking to reconcile, that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, it is a continuum, you guys, and spirit has brought that to me this morning in a deeper, broader way than I am even going to be able to express today. But I will drop back to this day and tell you about a demonstration that happened for me just this morning. If you ever had a question about whether life is a continuum, whether we truly are all connected, whether there is a soul fabric that keeps us connected to our loved ones and other beings that we're learning from, or however your experiences might have been, your questions about that through experiences you've had, just say yes. Stay open to spirit and keep asking your questions, because there is so much more going on here than we have ever realized. As is my way, I started by checking the dictionary about the whole glow up thing, and dictionary.com defines a glow up as an informal term, which I take to mean like contemporary, like the things the kids are coming up with, because this has a whole lot to do with social media. It is a positive personal transformational term, typically involving significant changes in appearance and style and our confidence in how we're growing in maturity, and sometimes aspects of our professional life, our divine vocation. It's all rolled in there. This term originated in a hip hop, notably from an artist named Chief Keef, and it was he wrote a song called "Gotta Glow Up Today," or "Gotta Glow Up One Day." Pardon me, "Gotta Glow Up One Day." So there you have that. I really like the fact that it taps into the current culture for our youth, because it's so important that we integrate that into what we're doing as well. And today, as I had mentioned when we opened, we're cultivating the atmosphere of the ultimate glow up by sharing phenomenal stories of demonstrations from treatment and meditation, and how good actually expresses in our lives from choosing to alignment in our thoughts, our feelings, and our beliefs. So I begin here with a quick thumbnail of the 5 steps of treatment, because we are blessed to have a few relatively new people that I don't believe have ever heard about the 5 steps of affirmative prayer. They are recognition, that's recognizing there is one power, one presence that is eternal and everlasting by any name. And if there's only one, the second step is unification, because as there is one, then every form, and existence is one with that, because that's what we come from. So that's unification. And if we are one with the source of all that is, then as we speak our word in faith and prayer, it's a realization that essentially our word is the word of divine spirit, because that is all we are. And when we align ourselves with knowing that, then as we speak our word in prayer, it is realized and made evident. And because we know that our word is the word of spirit, we have thanksgiving paid forward. Step 4 in the 5 steps of treatment is thanksgiving, because we know that it's already done in the law of God. And the prayer is just about our being able to receive the gift. And then we release. And that's step 5. So if anyone here has anything that you would prefer to change in your lives that hasn't happened yet, and you have not actually stopped to write out a 5-step treatment, I do encourage you to apply this resource. Now, the process of developing and using spiritual mind treatment, which is to actively engage the 5 steps, is to bring the person praying to the place of absolute conviction in the power of the word spoken. That's the purpose. It's not that those 5 steps are the prayer, that those 5 steps are the structure that allows us to put anything. You can put anything into a 5-step treatment, whatever a person is praying about, but you put them into those 5 steps and you come down to knowing that your word is the word of God, and there you go. Okay, now the purpose of engaging spiritual mind treatment, hold on just a second, I just lost my thought. There's the purpose of the 5 steps, and then there's the purpose of doing a treatment. So bear with me there. So you have the 5 steps that brings you down to the conviction of faith. The purpose of doing a treatment is to bring the person praying back to knowing that we are one with spirit. Because when you absolutely know that you are one with your source, there is no question of separation from your good. And that might sound way simplified right here, but just practice it. Now, Vernon, can you give me the next slide, please? In beginning to talk about the purpose of visiting what our answers to prayer has been and telling these stories, as we speak the word to demonstrations that have happened and return ourselves to moments of grace in our lives, or whatever term you might use for it. I like the term grace. I have total conviction in my faith of the grace of God. For you, it might be a different term. It's not about exactly what the term is you use. It's about developing your relationship to that space. When you have had an answer to prayer, to spend time with that feeling, that cultivates more of the space for that feeling. So a lot of times you guys might hear me say, I'll say praise God, or glory be, those kinds of things. And I do that because it keeps the field around me in touch with that atmosphere that allows for more of that to come in. And so keep before me the moments of my high resolve. Anytime you all are in a spot and you need to shift, you need to make that pivot, you need a new idea, as Reverend Carolyn says, ask Spirit to bring before you the moments of your high resolve. Okay? That statement was actually by the Venerable Howard Thurman. So here I'm going to give our first story, and then we have 2 stories that will follow from Susan and Cassie. And yeah, Vernon, if you could bring up the next slide, please. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of this book, From Worst to First. This was written by a man named Gordon Bethune, who for about 10 years was at the helm of Continental Airlines, and I worked for Continental Airlines well before Gordon Bethune got there, and well after he was not the CEO anymore. And this demonstration comes directly out of the opportunity that I had to meet and work with him. And it is one of the most powerful demonstrations in prayer that has ever happened for me. And the ongoing result of that is a demonstration of part of the continuum that I'm encouraging you guys to know, that we're so connected to the people in our lives, and actually everybody in the world, but finding the capacity to engage all of that is a little much. So as you're listening to this, my encouragement to you is to think of the times in your life when you have had people that have appeared to be on the periphery, and then suddenly you discover there's deeper connections there that you did not realize before. So in 1994, Continental Airlines was on the verge of losing it, and all the employees knew it. And I got my job with Continental in 1984, so I had been there for 10 years. I was well embodied into my love for this company, and it was a central hub of my whole world, because that's how I flew home. I don't have any family here, and so there was a whole lot for me invested in this thing about whether or not Continental Airlines was going to make it or not. And we knew that there was going to be a new CEO. And of course, you know, the whole idea, oh, well, they come in and fire us all. I mean, it was all about that. Everybody was shaken up and confused. And all of a sudden, on a bulletin board, I don't know if you guys remember telexes. Remember, before all this other electronic stuff, there were telex machines, and there would be telexes that would print it out, and they'd post them places, at least for us. And on this bulletin board, there was a little message that said that, okay, Gordon Bethune had been in the office for 3 days, and he invited anyone with the company to come to his office in downtown Houston and have a meeting with him about what was the challenge. Because he'd been with the company for a little while, but he had not been at the helm, and he knew he was going to need to know from the people that knew what the problem was, because otherwise he was never going to be able to try to fix it. And so at first I was like, you know, downtown Houston, can't get there. I'm not a real good driver. Oh my God. But it planted a seed in me, and I kept looking at it, and suddenly I realized that it was going to be on my day off. And I was like, oh my God, I could do that. Oh my God, I could take the bus. Never mind my car. I'll park my car at the park and ride, and I'll take the bus. I got lit. I mean, I was lit, because my prayer, you all, my fervent prayer was that I wanted to know, if I lost that job, that I had done everything I could possibly do. Because if I didn't feel like I had done everything I could do, especially as a practitioner type, okay, I'm already a practitioner, so I know about, you know, what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling and what I believe, and I wanted to make sure I had invested everything. And so once I found out I could go, I mean, that was a demonstration right there to me. You know, I got like a new suit, and I got my hair done, I got my nails done, and I parked my car at the park and ride, and I took a trip downtown, had to change buses, which was a thing for me. This is when I'm walking without crutches now, okay? But it was a thing for me to change buses in downtown Houston, get on a second bus. Took me from about 11 o'clock in the morning until 2 in the afternoon to safely get down there. But the meeting was at 3. And I'll never forget standing on the street corner across the building from this great big high-rise building that it was in, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm praising God. And I go to cross this main street. It was like I had to do a diagonal crossing. And of all things, I fell, and I split the back of my jacket trying to get to that building. Not in such a way that it kind of came back together. When I stood back up, I didn't even realize I had ripped it. But my point there is the amount of energy that was invested. It was like, this is like breakthrough stuff. If you think about that jacket tearing, we're talking breakthrough stuff. And so there's throngs of people in this intersection, and this building is like 26 stories high. Okay. And I approached this building, and as I approached the door, I had not even touched the handle. The door opened, and it was Gordon Bethune opening the door. He was coming out. The meeting wasn't for an hour. He was coming out for whatever reason. I don't know what it is. I didn't ask him. And the thing is, he is quite the gentleman. And so he greeted me because we were, standing like right in front of each other. I was coming in and he was coming out. And so he said to me, "Good afternoon." And that didn't surprise me. But then what did surprise me is he said to me, "What brings you here today?" And I'm like, "Well, oh my God, I'm here for a meeting with you today." And the man stopped what he was doing, turned around, and escorted me up to his office. When I said to him, "I'm here for a meeting with you today," he said, "Really?" with an exclamation point, and he turned around and escorted me back up to his office. And as you all know, I don't walk so fast. And I'm thinking, because this man is like 6'3", he has quite the stride. He had to really slow down to stay with me to get me up to that 26th floor. I was the first person there out of 44,000 people that were invited. There were 6 of us from around the continental system, internationally and everything. Only 6 people showed up to that meeting. You guys, the chances of him being the one to open that door for me, I'm telling you, I knew it was life-changing. And I told him, I said, "Oh my God, you can't believe the synchronicity that just happened. There was like a miracle to me." And I went back to the office and I told everybody, because everybody, was really in the depth of despair, kind of waiting to lose our jobs. I said, "No, no, 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 you guys, we have got to get behind this man." The last thing I'll tell you is I did not know, but at that time when he had that meeting, Continental was within 3 days of closing our doors. And the only reason why it did not happen, because we had already filed for bankruptcy, it would have been closed. The only reason it didn't happen is because he called the head at the time of American Airlines that had lots of money, and he said to their CEO, "Hey man, I need this much of a loan and I need it right now." And the guy, he wrote this in his book, From Worst to First. He said, "Okay, let's schedule a meeting." And Gordon said, "Oh, no, 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 you don't understand. I need you to transfer that money today." And if it had not been for his gravitas, if it had not been for who and how he was and the trust that he had in the industry, there wouldn't be the United that we have today. I wouldn't be able to fly around and do the things I do, because that would have been it. So I'm just saying, let's take a breath. I know that was a lot, but now thank you, thank you, thank you, ladies. That's just awesome. Maybe we should share a little love for those who have shared their stories. Yay! I will say, just following one little thought that I want to emphasize for all of you. When Cassie had an opportunity to share with me that demonstration had occurred, one of the highlights of what she said is, "Oh, I don't know why I didn't ask before." So that is to say, you all, don't hesitate to ask for what you want or need. And you ask yourself, you ask your higher self, you ask however you see guides and guards, and that could be in the human level, that could be in the spiritual level. There is support all around us, you guys. The multidimensional field that we actually live in, I have taken to saying lately, I think most of you have seen the movie It's a Wonderful Life, where they say, "Oh, every time a bell rings, the angel gets his wings." Well, I got to tell you, that I believe is more of what is actually happening than the way we're taught to oversimplify that, because there are guides and guards here that are just waiting to help us. And we have to say, help us. And that could be directly to spirit. You know, I have been cautioned around the idea that because there's only one, we're not talking about needing an intercessory. Okay. Our dreams and our visions and the things that we need to do in this world are larger than any one person can do anyway. So we're all helping each other. And when we call on our guides and guards and they are able to help us, we are also helping them. Because just like when we help somebody, we grow and evolve. Well, in other dimensions, when guides and guards are able to help us, it helps them to grow and evolve, just like was shown in the little movie where the little angel Clarence, he says, oh, well, you'll help me help you, won't you? Because if you help me help you, then I'll get my wings, right? So don't hesitate to ask for what you want or need, even if you don't know what that is. Okay, say, I don't know, but help me find out what it is I want and need. And that I'm going to wrap up with right there, because I mean, this could just go on and on. So I'm just going to invite us within this atmosphere to drop into closing prayer. And so, Vernon, I want to tell you, don't worry about skip. There was another slide. We're just going to go right over it and say, thank you, God. For we should have such problems as the gift of this phenomenal experience we have that's called autonomy. I have no doubt life is a gift from God that is forever giving, and our courage to embody this gift is our gift back to God. It is reciprocal, because without our courage to have this crazy, wild experience, God doesn't have this crazy, wild experience that is called existence. And it's a good thing. And so for all that we're learning, I know and declare within the lives of each person within the sound of my voice that in your own ways, according to your own signatures, according to your own tracking of synchronicities and questioning what's next, how does that work, what, show me, that it happens for each and every one of you in such a way that we're weaving this soul fabric called Louisville Center for Spiritual Living in support of each other phenomenally. Thank you, God, for all of this and more. I release it and let it be, and so it is.
My, what great, amazing manifestations. Y'all really glowed up. That's awesome. Thank you for that, for telling us about all that. And now we're here at the time for prosperity affirmation and giving time. We just really appreciate you giving your time, your love, your support to help this community continue to thrive and grow. We gratefully appreciate your credit card, debit card. You'll see the copy in the link in the chat for the online ways to do it, PayPal and Zelle. And then, of course, you're always welcome to mail your check to Louisville Center for Spiritual Living, P.O. Box 43958, Louisville, Kentucky 40253. Let's say this affirmation together. If you want to just say this out loud, wherever you are with me, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. My prosperity is as plentiful as the pumpkins in the great pumpkin patch. Good old Linus there in the big old pumpkin patch. And now I pass this, the gifts of what we've received for the blessing over to Rev Vicky.
And I take up this opportunity for blessing with such joy. I absolutely love the idea that Halloween has a spiritual basis through so much love through the characters of Linus and recognizing the multitude of the great pumpkin patch. And so in that childlike joy, we give and receive, knowing that everything that is given and received is just blessed and exponentially multiplied in spirit for ourselves and for our world. Amen.
And now for some announcements of the week. Next Sunday, we're delighted to have Reverend Vicky, our own Reverend Vicky, speak about Glow Up Again. And the sub-theme is The Holy Land is Everywhere.
And so I'm going to take up this next announcement because Louisville Center for Spiritual Living is really needing to balance our income to our expenses. We're going to be doing financial updates regularly for a little while, and this has become a financial goal at the beginning of this month because we have had lovely demonstrations over the last week to 10 days. And so our October financial goal is $3,200 total received, because that is what really meets our overall budget and gives us a little bit more to save for what we would like to do, such as funding a family program and things like that. And for this week so far, of the $3,200 that we need through the month of October, we have already received $1,020. And actually, I believe that that is now $1,070, but I wasn't able to confirm that additional 50 well enough to actually put it on the slide. But it's like leaving that extra chair open in the circle, you know, where more is going to come. And so that leaves us with needing $2,180 to meet our goal for October. And our current savings is now $3,247.57. And as much as we can, as we move along, we will be looking to bolster that savings back up. And thank you all for everything that you do for Louisville Center. Concurrent with this, because this is so important to the future of our center, we are having a community meeting that's going to follow service on Sunday, the 19th of October. And it's just so that you all can have a dedicated space to ask any questions. And we can then, by that time, we'll have a little bit more information that we'll be able to offer you about how we're moving forward.
The Revolutionary Agreements class is still continuing. You're welcome to join, even though it's been going on. They're reading at this meeting. At this time, they're listening to some of the book and then doing some discussion. Revolutionary Agreements, A Personal Path to Peace on Earth is really an amazing book. So you're welcome to join, and that's on the same Zoom link as we're on now.
And just to augment that just a little bit, next Saturday is our 8th Saturday of Revolutionary Agreements, and I have determined we are going to be able to finish up the book on that 8th Saturday. That's kind of what I promised the Saturday discussion call people. And so we can always do more with this book. It's a book, I think Katrina's read it like 5 times and still says it's one of her favorite books to read. And so if you would like to engage it, let me know, and we'll see about catching people up with that. In the meantime, after next Saturday, the Saturday at 11 o'clock, we'll go back to our open discussion call. We're going to the next slide. It's just taking a minute. Do you want to do this one, Tammy, or do you want me to?
You go for it, please.
We suspended my doing the Soul Journey class for you all this fall. And I'm so grateful that there is this opportunity to take the Emma Curtis Hopkins class with Reverend Jesse, since we determined that we need to teach the next class through LCSL a little farther down the line because of the other work that we're doing for the center. And so this class is going to be awesome. I will be participating in this class. For those of you who have been asking whether or not I would be there, this little gift I'm giving to myself. I really want to be back in the room with Dr. Jesse as a student. And any of you that can join, it would be just a heck of a memory to take this class together. The cost is $240 and will go to Creative Life. This does not go to LCSL, and it will be on their link, which I will make sure that everyone that's participating in this gets. You can pay like half of it by November the 11th. That would be $120, and then the second half they're requesting by the last week of the class. It is a 12-week course that will run from the 10th of November through February. This class ends in the middle of February, and as you see there, they are taking the 22nd of December and the 29th of December off. Thank you. Anybody that's interested, do let me know. I'm interested in knowing who's interested in taking that class.
And so please join us for a sharing time after the benediction, after the closing prayer. We'd love to just visit some all together. And let's say on the count of 3 to ourselves and to each other. We are magnificent, beautiful people. Beautiful people. Love, Snoopy, and the Happy Dance. And now for our closing song, please enjoy Everything is Holy Now by Peter Mayer.
When I was a boy each week, on Sunday we would go to church and pay attention to the priest. He would read the holy word and consecrate the holy bread, and everyone would kneel and bow. Today the only difference is everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. And when I was in Sunday school, we would learn about the time Moses split the sea in two, Jesus made the water wine. And I remember feeling sad, miracles don't happen still. Now I can't keep track, 'cause everything's a miracle. Everything's a miracle. Wine from water is not so small, but an even better magic trick is that anything is here at all. So the challenging thing becomes not to look for miracles, but finding where there isn't one. When holy water was rare at best, it barely wet my fingertips, but now I have to hold my breath like I'm swimming in a sea of it. Used to be a world half there, heaven's second-rate hand-me-down, but I walk it with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now. Testament, that'd be very hard to say. See another new it's not a sacrament. I tell you that it can't be done. This morning outside I stood, I saw a little red-winged bird shining like a burning bush and singing like a scripture verse. It made me want to bow my head. I remember when church let out, how things have changed since then. Everything is holy now. It used to be a world half there, heaven's second-rate hand-me-down, but I walk it with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now.
Now for our brief benediction, I do invite you all to say with me in closing the service, out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. When the soul lies down in the grass, the world is too full to talk about. By Rumi.